Welcome to the Mystical Motherhood Podcast. This is Chelsea, and I want you to create a happy family. I use my background in Western and Eastern medicine, birth, and ancient yogic practices to help the modern mother learn how to live a healthier life and create conscious children. This is your guide to fertility, conception, pregnancy, birth, postpartum, and the early childhood years. Are you ready to live the life of your dreams? Welcome to Mystical Motherhood's bonus podcast this week. I want to go deep into what you should eat and what you should not eat and how to properly detox your body in order to feel better, and also how to properly detox before you have a baby. I'm going to talk about foods to avoid, supplements that you should take, and how to complete a heavy metal detox according to the medical medium. I wanted to really put this out there because I'm having so many clients come to me with incredible nutrient deficiencies, people that don't know how to manage their diet and have a lot of questions. So I hope that this bonus podcast this week answers all of yours. And if you have any more, please write into mysticalmotherhood.com with questions. And if you'd like to work with me personally, write in for that also. So I'm going to start out by talking about how depleted we are as a society. Sadly, the Western Medical, Association or any doctors don't really talk about nutrition within a medical setting because there's really not enough time to do so. And nutrition could probably heal a lot of our problems if we, it's an emotional experience, it's a spiritual experience, and food can heal every single cell of our bodies. So I want to look at some of the stats. Approximately 74% of American women are lacking in proper nutrients in their diet. The effects of depletion are affecting one generation after another. And if you have already had one baby or even two babies, what's happening is with each baby, you're likely getting depleted in between, especially if you're breastfeeding, more than you can even imagine. So your calcium, the lack of calcium will affect your bones. And so though the baby will be protected each pregnancy, especially through the placenta, the baby will take every single ounce of nutrition from you in order to survive. And this means it will take the fat from your brain, the calcium from your bones, and just completely deplete you. So in older societies, women would space their babies by 3 to 4 years, knowing the importance of keeping the genetic line strong, because as we know, diet can highly, highly affect the genome. But in these times, we tend not to, women are having babies later. They want to have them and when they want them, and there's less planning in conscious conception. So maintaining the high nutrient levels before each pregnancy or in between, or planning, to eat well before you become pregnant is incredibly vital to your personal health and your child's. I want to ask you if you're eating any of the following. Are you eating any frozen, canned, or vitamin-poor fruits or vegetables? So do you eat canned fruits and vegetables? Do you eat mystery meats that are packaged from farms? So do you typically, when you buy meats, do you know where the meats are created? Do you know where they're sourced from? Do you know if they've been poisoned with any chemicals, or are they using antibiotics? What type of meat are you buying? What type of grains are you buying? Do you tend to just buy the loaf off the shelf that really is depleted and you're not really serving you or your family anything healthy? Do you eat soy products? Are you eating packaged goods? So do you serve yourself or your children breakfast cereal, chips, granola, or crackers? Do you eat artificial flavored candies or snacks? I'm sure all of us can say yes to most of these. It's really, really easy to do so. So do you eat fat-free anything? So if you're eating, the reason why I'm asking about fat-free items is pretty much when it says fat-free, it's increased sugar or it has margarine. Margarine is a trans fatty acid and is one of the worst things for your system in creating inflammation and problems within the cells. So trans fats can be found in things like French fries, which obviously we eat a lot. Again, white bread or white rice, which is the same as nutrient depleted bread, and any MSG products. So if you're eating these, what you're doing is you're programming your vibration and your frequency with this type of information, because we have to think of food as a language. It's a powerful code that programs our cells, and you have the ability to upgrade your system and protect your genome just like you do with your smartphone by eating the right diet. If you were to choose at this moment in time, which I'm going to encourage you and teach you how to do so, to eliminate inflammatory foods and go towards an anti-inflammatory diet, and switched more to a vegetarian-based diet, you would switch the health of your microbiome within your body within just a few days by increasing the fruits and vegetables and going for foods that don't cause inflammation. So I'm going to teach you a couple of things that I do for myself and things that I actually have been teaching all my clients from the very beginning. And I have seen amazing results in my own health, and I have seen outstanding results in theirs. So I follow the medical medium. I've done so since he first published a book, and now it feels like everyone knows about him. But I knew in my heart that he speaks to spirit, and his name is Anthony William. And he's written, I think, 4 books now on how to eat better, what to eat, why you're eating certain fruits and vegetables, what is the cause of the really big health issues that we're having in our bodies, which is really coming down to viruses, and how to heal those things with food. And one of the greatest healing advice he has given is drinking celery juice upon rising in the morning. And I can't tell you how much it's changed my skin, how much it's changed my body, how much I just feel like I'm glowing when I consistently drink 8 to 16 ounces of celery juice. When I wake up in the morning, I take a whole bunch of celery, put it in a juicer. I know juicers are expensive, but I think it's better to get one than you have it. It's available. You'll use it the rest of your life if you're good to it. They're expensive, but they're worth it. So celery juice on an empty stomach upon rising, and then you wait 15 minutes before other meals. Another really good thing to start to cleanse your system is drinking water. If you have a way to filter the water, that's better, but you want to add a little bit of lemon or lime to that water, and that helps to clear the liver out. So on Medical Medium's Liver Cleanse, he explains to do water with lemon or lime, 16 ounces before you go to bed and 16 ounces upon rising. So if you really want to get really, really clean, you'd start your day off with 16 ounces of filtered water with lemon or lime. Then you'd have celery juice, 8 to 16 ounces, and you're waiting in between these about 15 minutes. And then you can create an amazing smoothie, which actually I found through a lot of research that this heavy metal detox smoothie can be, you can eat it or drink it during pregnancy, according to Medical Medium, and you can continue to do that while you're breastfeeding because it's made from natural ingredients. So I'm going to read this straight from the Medical Medium because I think the heavy metal detox is so, so vital before we have a baby. We're full of all these metals. And a lot of my clients ask me, well, am I more full of metals than the next person? How do I know? And we don't know. I mean, if you have symptoms such as eczema or psoriasis, or you're having actual muscle, all kinds of problems, you can go to a naturopath doctor. You can get tested for heavy metals, and you can get tested for any allergies, doing a blood test or a skin testing. And if you think you have major allergies, or you think you have a problems with heavy metal detoxing or having, any odd symptoms are persisting and you feel like you're overloaded with environmental toxins, do go to a naturopathic doctor or a functional medicine practitioner, and they can test you for these things. If you want to start to clear your system on your own using the products I'm going to talk about now, do it. It's completely worth it. And you'll feel a lot better. So this is what he says about the heavy metal detox. In the modern world, the accumulation of heavy metals and other toxins along with inherited mercury deposits is unavoidable. That's the bad news. The good news is that it is relatively easy to get rid of the heavy metals, and that you may have already accumulated both generational and recent. And there are steps you can take to minimize your future exposure. Adding the following all-star team of foods to your diet and being diligent in the efforts to consume them will go a long way towards ridding your body of heavy metals. So I'm going to go through the ingredients, but what he's saying here is eat these daily and try to get at least 4 out of the 5 in your body daily, especially before you become pregnant, because we want to clear your body as much as possible. And again, according to Anthony Williams, this can be done during pregnancy with just smaller amounts of everything. And there's videos and resources that he's put up online. But just like I say with meditation, it's better to do something daily. It's better to meditate daily. It's better to be healthy daily rather than go through bouts of healthiness or bouts of yoga or bouts of meditation, because the changing your body to do something over time is going to ingrain a habit. So for the heavy metal detox, you want to buy spirulina. And he says it's preferably the Hawaiian spirulina, which is a little bit more expensive and harder to find. So do what you can do. And this is an edible blue-green algae. It draws out the heavy metals from your brain, your central nervous system, and your liver. And it soaks up heavy metals extracted by the barley grass juice extract powder. So you want to add at least 2 teaspoons of the spirulina into the shake we're going to make. And then you want to also add barley grass juice extract powder. This nutrient, it's a grass that has the ability to draw up heavy metals out of your spleen and out of your intestinal tract and pancreas, thyroid, and reproductive system. So again, 1 to 2 teaspoons of barley grass juice. And it just comes in a powder form like spirulina. Cilantro. So I have about 3 fresh bunches of cilantro in my fridge at all times. It goes deep into the hard to reach places within your body and it gets out the mercury. You blend 1 cup into your smoothie. So I use all of this in a smoothie because when I put it in a glass of water, it tastes terrible. And also the next ingredient, so we've gotten 3 there. We've got spirulina, barley grass juice extract powder, cilantro, now wild blueberries. Only from Maine, he says. I don't know how he finds those. Maybe they're online. I have been purchasing my wild blueberries from Whole Foods. It's about as good as it gets. I've never seen them anywhere else. If anybody does find wild blueberries from Maine, please write mysticalmotherhood.com and let me know. But these wild blueberries draw heavy metals out of the brain, healing and repairing gaps within your system. And it's a deep, deep detoxifying. It can help to reverse Alzheimer's and dementia if you eat at least 1 cup daily. Then another item to add to your smoothie is Atlantic Dulce. It's in addition to mercury, this edible seaweed binds to lead, aluminum, copper, and nickel. Unlike other seaweeds, this Atlantic Dulce is a powerful force for removing mercury on its own. It goes deep into hidden spots within the digestive tract, pulling out these heavy metals. And it's a critical part of the heavy metal detox. And what it is, it looks like it's just dried up seaweed. And you can buy this on Amazon. I haven't had a problem finding it. So again, the 5 foods to add to a smoothie. So with the smoothie, I put in a banana because the banana really helps to clean out the liver. You can put in an orange. And then just basic water with the spirulina, barley grass juice, extract powder, cilantro, wild blueberries, and Atlantic dulce. I think I might be pronouncing that Atlantic dulce wrong, but I apologize. But those are what you need to do every single day to start to pull these heavy metals out before you become pregnant, preferably. And hopefully the people that are listening to me are thinking about having a baby or going to have a baby at some point or have children. So you can, according to Medical Medium, give this to children. So I think he said something like the heavy metals get stuck in the middle of the brain, so in between the two brain hemispheres, and they will harden, I think, somewhere around the age of 20. So if 15 to 20, he said. So if you start to give a good smoothie, I will add these on a small level to one smoothie for my kids and put some chocolate protein powder in it and a banana and yummy fruits and vegetables, and they like it. They're eating it. They are really, really enjoying it, which is awesome. So starting this daily will absolutely change your health. And if you're currently pregnant, if you're pregnant right now and listening to this, or you're actually even thinking about getting pregnant, I want you to start to really, really, really avoid pesticides. Don't run around in public parks. Don't lay around in the public parks because of the pesticides and the herbicides and the fungicides that are putting all over the grass. You can call your local park and ask when they're going to spray, but most of the time they're spraying all the time, so it's difficult to actually have a time around that. But you also want to look at the type of products that you're using and evaluate if you really even need them, if you need to have your hair dyed, if you need to use these deep penetrating products with probably a lot of toxins that are affecting your body and your liver, and especially if you're pregnant, affecting your child. We often think about the food we're eating, but we're not really thinking about all the environmental toxins that are in everything around us, from our dryer sheets to the type of laundry detergent we're using, and the sprays in our hair, and the coloring, the food coloring, everything. So all of those matter. All of those can affect your fertility. So I know that this was also if you are pregnant, to avoid them, but if you're also trying to become pregnant, make sure that you're really looking at all the different environmental and internal and external toxins that can affect you and your health, so that you can be at the best health for your baby. When I asked you earlier about what, if you were eating any of those foods such as MSG or trans fats, margarine, or frozen foods, or any sort of nutrient depleted diet, I wanted you to really start to take a look at what you're actually putting into your body. And if I could encourage you to take out two items, the two items I would ask you to take out, or any of my clients during pregnancy, is sugar and vegetable oil. So vegetable oil, saturated fats, and cholesterol are not problematic for the heart. The cause of health issues is really due to processed fats, which are also known as omega-6 fatty acids. These are a type of vegetable oil that are incredibly temperature sensitive. They're extracted from products such as corn, canola, soy, sunflower, safflower, grapeseed, and rice bran. So any of these products, again, corn, canola, soy, sunflower, safflower, grapeseed, and rice bran are products that should not be heated, because the rise in the temperature breaks up the fatty acids, creating a toxic effect on the cells, and which results in inflammation within your body. Even if you consume just a small amount of trans fat, it can reproduce inside of you in the form of free radicals that can damage and inflame your cells and arteries. So along with the oils that I just explained above, you also want to avoid processed foods that may contain these types of oils, such as grain-fed beef, any factory-raised animals such as chicken or pork, and non-free-range eggs, because these types of products, you really want to know where your products are being sourced from. Avoiding vegetable oil while you're pregnant isn't, especially while you're pregnant. I mean, at all times it's important, but it's critical because it really affects the development of the baby in the womb. Studies have shown that when women consumed vegetable oil during pregnancy, there was oxidative stress and disruption to the hormonal responses within the fetus. It causes inflammation of the gut and it negatively affects the immune system, causing a nerve degenerating reaction. So if you have any heartburn or digestive discomfort, it's often because of vegetable oil. It has been linked to Alzheimer's, and it's been linked, obviously, it causes weight gain. It alters DNA genetic expression. And obviously, a lot of companies aren't going to want you to know this. So let me break it down for you. Good fats are olive oil, peanut oil, butter, macadamia nut oil, coconut oil, animal fats in normal proportions, and flaxseed oil. Bad fats are canola oil, soy oil, sunflower, cottonseed, grapeseed, safflower, non-butter spreads such as margarine, and trans fat spreads. So you can find salad dressings are always loaded with good and bad fats. So always read the back of salad dressing. Look at the back of the margarine products. Look at the back of rice milk or soy milk products and see if they add these types of oils into them. Soy-based products often create the same inflammation effect. So breakfast cereals often carry vegetable oil in order to maintain the shape of the rice or the structure of the actual cereal. French fries, cookies, crackers, all are full of vegetable oil. Granola, soft breads, buns, muffins, full of inflammatory fats. So in a diet, when we're talking about what to eat and what not to eat, part of the reason we say not to eat, you may be not wanting to eat bread because of the gluten, because you have a gluten intolerance, but you also may not want to eat it because it's full of trans fats. So it's just good to know what things are made out of and to find the products that work and to get those and have them in your cupboard with pre-made meals ahead of time so that you're prepared to eat clean throughout the week without having to, for me, whenever I break and have crackers and avocado and all the yummy things I love to snack on is because I didn't plan or I'm emotionally caught up in something. For example, if I'm stressed out, if the kids are crying, or I've got too much going on, I will often immediately start eating without even thinking. And what I typically go towards is crackers, breads, or unhealthy products that are full of vegetable oil, and I don't really feel good afterwards. Another thing I really want you to start to avoid, if you can, the two things that I'm going to talk about mostly in this podcast, again, vegetable oil and sugar. So a typical American consumes 150 pounds of added sugar yearly. And this is in the forms mostly of processed foods. So on an evolution level, we're not prepared for this heavy load of a completely foreign food. And what it's doing is it's affecting our moods, and it affects our emotions, and it affects our craving levels, and there is a high level of addiction to it. So it jams up our adrenals. It clogs our nutrient channels. It impairs our mood and memory. It stiffens the collagen and tendons and joints within our skin, so it makes you look old. Yogi Bhajan said the two things that women should not be eating or drinking is sugar and caffeine. And one of the reasons is because it ages you. There's no glow to the skin. It creates wrinkles. So right there, that gives you a really good reason to start to cut it out. It can cause premature arthritis. And when it binds to hormone receptors, it blocks them, making you insensitive to insulin as you age and causing you to gain weight. So also just a little note, in Medical Medium's liver book, he talks about why women are gaining weight as they get older, and he says it's because of a clogged liver. So when we do this diet, like I just talked about with the water in the morning with a celery juice followed by the heavy metal detox, maybe adding some protein powder, you start to clean out the liver and clean out the toxins so that your liver can actually function at the level it's supposed to, which is cleaning out viruses, protecting you from all the toxins that are coming in, and then utilizing the nutrients that it needs, which is healthy forms of glucose in the form of fruit. And if you're trying to get pregnant, like I've said in my books and on other podcasts, fruit's a really, really good thing to do to eat. We could go into so many things about health, GMOs. We could go into why gluten, people are becoming gluten insensitive. There's so much I could go into, but I just want you to leave with an understanding of what you should eat and what you should not be eating. And I'm going to start with what you should exclude in your diet. So if you're going on a cleanse and you want to get really, really healthy, you can exclude dairy, grains, and high glycemic foods such as wheat, barley, rye, refined carbohydrates, cookies, chips, and crackers. Again, you want to take out sugar, caffeine, canola oil, which we've already spoken about, corn products because of the high amount of GMOs and the effect that it has. Many people are allergic, and soy products. So you also want to stop overeating or eating unconsciously. So if you catch yourself in the kitchen, not really thinking, eating, and you've got to just take 7 deep breaths and walk away. Again, you want to remove all environmental toxins from your surroundings and internally and externally, which is what we talked about throughout this podcast. You want to include fats and protein, and you want to make sure to eat good fats, omega-3 rich foods such as wild-caught salmon, avocados, nuts, coconut oil, seeds are all a good source of healthy fats. Vegetables and fruits. We co-evolved with plants, not with animals. So you want to eat nutrient-dense, organic, and chemical-free fruits and vegetables as much as you want, as often as you want. You want to include a lot of kale, collards, and mustard greens. So a plant-based diet, which is nutrient-dense and calorie-poor, will switch on more than 500 genes that create health and switch off more than 200 genes that create cancer. And this is according to Velodo, who's done a lot of research on this. There is a high amount of fruit because we are afraid of sugar, but you have to get over that and realize that fruit is a good form of glucose for your liver and healing. Again, you want to have celery juice in the morning. It's a powerful anti-inflammatory. It starves the bad bacteria in your gut, creating healthy bacteria, which creates the good microbiome and increasing your intuition, connecting your gut and brain. It releases the toxic heavy metals. And if you drink 8 to 16 glasses on an empty stomach before rising, your health will completely change. If you eat fish, you want to eat small, fatty fish, preferably wild caught, about twice a week. Eggs, according to medical medium, you want to avoid them. Just go with what feels good to you. Try them in your diet and then take them out and see how that affects your health and your families. That's a very personal thing, as you know. Breads, if you eat breads, make sure you choose the whole grain types of bread. Meat, if you're eating meat, only eat free range or grass-fed. Always know where your meat came from. Always trace your food back to its origin and understand the root of the source. Traveling back in time with all your food will allow you to better understand the types of nutrients that you are eating and whether or not it's full of antibiotics or it is factory raised. If you haven't been able to conceive for a long, long time and you're having a lot of trouble, you may want to avoid eating meat or anything that's killed that has a lot of cortisol within it. I want to go over a few supplements that I recommend that you take if you are trying to become pregnant. These supplements aren't bad even if you're not trying to become pregnant, but if you are trying to become pregnant, you want to make sure that you're getting all of these within your diet in order to increase your fertility. You want to make sure you're on a good prenatal vitamin. And I would recommend, I'm not going to recommend brands, but a good one, not just that's where you'd want to spend your money. You want to make sure that you are getting a vitamin B12 and a B-complex. So sometimes prenatal vitamins can have the amount within them, but just check the back of the container to see what your prenatal vitamin has in it. You want to have an omega-3 with DHA and EPA and make sure it's plant-based or it's algae-based. You want a vitamin C. You want to have vitamin D3 daily. You want to have vitamin E. Vitamin E is very good with helping increase fertility. Folic acid, 400 micrograms minimum. Depending on if you have any other health issues, you may have to go higher, but you'd have to go to a doctor to discuss this. You want to have a good probiotic daily, magnesium citrate, zinc, ashwagandha, and Vitex. Chasteberry is an herb that has been shown to help with fertility, and ashwagandha is an adaptogen, which is also beneficial for the reproductive organs. Again, I want to say that this is what I provide to the women I work with when they are looking to clean up their diet or make their health the foundation of their health in perfect shape. If they follow even some of these changes, they see dramatic effects on their health because they're beginning to start to think about how they're feeling and what they want to change in their body. If you are having any issues, please call into Mystical Motherhood. Reach out to me if you want to work with me personally. I work on changing the diet. We work on thoughts, emotions, and environment in order to create the highest frequency for you and the baby you're going to have, or if you already have children and you're not going to have anymore, we're just improving your household, making you the best mother that you can be. I want to say it's on my website, but none of this is to be taken as medical advice. If you're having any problems, please call your doctor. And obviously, if you get pregnant, you want to go over what to eat and what types of supplements you can take while you're eating, while you're pregnant. You don't need to be taking all these supplements. So you can find out more about all this at mysticalmotherhood.com. My new book, Fertile, will be released around May of 2019. And my first book, Mystical Motherhood, came out in 2018 and is available on Amazon. It's jam-packed full of ton of information on nutrients and how to change your diet. If you liked this podcast, please subscribe, leave a little note and a rating. It really, really helps so other people can see it. Have a beautiful day.